Are we good? There it is.
Yeah.
Okay, being recorded.
Yeah.
Yes.
we're all being
Thank you all for being here to our first San Francisco Greater Bay Area meetup. Thank you all for showing up. And it doesn't matter if you are from a different region or different part of the world, everybody's welcome all the time. And you should know that. You should know that when there are other meetups happening via Zoom or in person, wherever you are, just join because we are family after all. So this is our first SFAA meetup over here on this part of the world. And we welcome you all. Colette Standish is the liaison for Berkeley, and I am the liaison for San Francisco. And we welcome you both. So I actually graduated in 2017, not long ago, with a dual degree. And Colette, you want to take it away? Tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah. Okay, so I graduated this year. And pandemic pushed
new graduate.
through, plowed through, and actually I haven't stopped since. Kind of interesting. I thought I was going to have a quiet time, but it was. I loved it. Absolutely loved SFAI, even with all what's going on. Absolutely loved it. Yeah, I guess. I'm on to doing other things now, but SFAI is my heart. Sorry, one side, but both sides.
Excellent. That's beautiful. Yeah, I think a lot of us feel the same way about SFAI, our home forever. Whether we take it with everything, we take it with all the good and some of the bad and whatever else is in between. That's who we are. That's what we do, and we like to keep on pushing forward. A couple of the things that we're going to do today, since we have all of us here, is first we're going to do a little bit of, a reminder. We have a survey floating around by SFAA. So if you probably already gotten an email from SFAA, and you should try to answer that survey. And we'll remind you at the end of the session also one more time to fill in the survey. It's very important for us to collect information about what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you hope to achieve, and do as a community, as an SFAI community of artists globally or together wherever we are. So we'll do that later on. We have our lovely, incomparable Linda Connor. She wants to share something with us. So let's hear from Linda Connor.
Oh, no. Oh, wait. Oh, well, you didn't tell me I had to start. Well, okay.
Yeah, just tell us.
All right.
Do it here.
So 2 days ago, I got to show somebody around campus who had never been there before. And we went all over campus, down below the ceramics studios and, just everywhere. And it looks pretty good. They're building some new graduate studios. Saw those. And I just want to tell you what an amazing, showing somebody else who's never been there, who comes in and sees the old part and then is knocked out by the Diego Rivera mural. And then we go out to the plaza and the view and Coy Tower, and then up to the library and talk to Jeff. I mean, it was just extraordinary. And I am so glad personally, I'm going to be back in a classroom with at least a few students this fall. And we're going to be up and running again. We'll be limping a little bit. I don't think the cafe will be in full force for a while, which is too bad. I think it'll be open to gather, but I don't think we can muster kitchen staff at this point. We'll see. But it's moving forward, and it needs everybody to remember that and to pull in the same direction, because we need to build up our student body and have faith in ourselves. So that's my little report. So
what about, do you need any liaisons or alumni to pop in for, like, I don't know, just for fun? What do you think?
Absolutely. I would say if you've been in touch with any of your old professors who are pretty much all old now, not old, but
Yeah, yeah.
mature.
That's
Sure.
better.
Yeah, tell them that you're around and you'd love to come in and talk about your time there or your recent work and see what their students are doing. And just, I'm counting on some students coming in, alums coming into my classes. Another thing that I'm doing is I'm commandeering that display case in front of the guard station, which is a place we have photography anyway. And I'm contacting alumni to have 2-week shows there.
Oh, that's cool.
Definitely throughout the
Good.
fall and maybe through the spring. And, you know, if they can come over and help us with my students install it and have a mini opening, that would be great. And so we really want to have the alumni as part of the family.
Great.
Excellent. Thank you, Linda. That's great.
Yeah.
So you heard it all here. You heard it from Linda directly. We want the alumni to be present. If you're in the area, if you're still local, go ahead and reach out and then make yourselves available to our community of professors and the rest of the gang. Like if they need us to stop by to do a presentation. Also, you can check in with Jeff Gunderson, our librarian. I think he will be happy to see us to swing by the library, a place we a lot of us miss a lot. So just make sure you stay in touch and, you know, we can start slowly to trickle into our campus little by little. Yeah. Okay. I think I see Tim has a question.
What's that? Will be Diego Owens.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
There was one for the low res group. That's the show that's hanging up now. And then there's the show that will be open of the recent graduate students.
Yes.
That is in the main gallery.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
and that'll be open. It's not quite all the way up now, but it should be open by the time classes start.
Great.
Yeah, that's right. I think
Thank you.
there's an actual opening on the 26th. So if anybody's around, the 26th of the 27th. Sorry, Thursday, the 26th of 27 of August. There's an opening of the graduates of this year at the Ultimate Beans. So. So come down.
One other thing though, you have to have proof of vaccination and you'll need a mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for announcing that, Linda, and thanks for announcing that, Colette. That's very important. For sure, wear your mask, flash your vaccination card, and walk back to campus and be part of the festivities and touch base with everybody, for sure. For sure. We have a couple more things that we want to do since we're all together here. We have 2 little presentations. Colette is probably going to start in a little bit.
Am I going
I want
first?
you. Yeah. Or do you want me to go first?
No, I'm cool.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So as Colette gets ready, I want us to be thinking about also, if you like these kinds of interactions, you know, touch base with either Colette and me. Colette has a little something wonderful that has happened to her, but not so much for us, and she'll tell us that later on in the presentation. And be thinking about, like, would you like to become a liaison? What is that? How do I go about it? Like, if you are if you live in a different part of the country or in a different part of the world and you want to represent that location, like if you are in Japan, although we do have liaisons from Japan, but I'm just using it as an example. Or maybe Canada. Like if you live in Canada and you graduated from SFAI, or we know someone who is currently in Canada, then you can always say, hey, what you doing? Do you want to be a liaison for our home, our SFAI home through SFAA? And, you know, you get to round up everybody, polar bears, penguins, and all the SFAI alumni who live in Canada, and then have a gathering. So be thinking about that. It's actually pretty cool. We get the lovely task of meeting every other Monday with lovely Maria Teresa and team. who we get together and we talk about what we're going to do as a team, how we're going to connect with their family. We're an extended family of SFAI alumni, and we chit chat about all the things. And so quite lovely and fun. And then, you know, we also come up with exhibition opportunities and what else can we do together, how we can make some outreach opportunities for all of us. All of us. That is the most important thing, to connect. All right. So we're thinking about that. If you wanna become a liaison for your region, or co help each other out with somebody else who's already a liaison. Colette, are you ready?
Yep, I definitely. Yep, I am. So let me see. I haven't done this for so long that I forgot. What? Somebody's playing me in. Somebody's playing me in. I don't know who it is.
Yeah, maybe try to mute.
I can't mute.
Okay.
How about if we all mute ourselves? I know the team is going to try to mute everybody, but it's kind of lovely to hear the background.
It is. It's nice to be kind of like instead of a da 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 da. It's nice, kind of calm.
Yeah, there we are.
Okay, so as Cristina mentioned, we're both doing a presentation. So what we're going to try and do is I'll show you, show you my work, but it's kind of like a twofold thing. It's like we're going to do it by comment first and then a question. So rather than just kind of like thinking you're on the spot and you have to do a question, we're making it easy. So as a comment, comment first, and it would be kind of a good idea if you actually said, well, I've got a comment or I've got a question, rather than, just mixing it up, because it just makes it a little easier for everybody and for us, to be honest, and for us. So bear with me where I actually, okay, desktop. Okay, share sound. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, that was the meeting earlier. That was me chatting to everybody earlier. Okay. Here we go. So this. Okay. So I've done I'm showing here 4 images because, like I said, it's only a few minutes. But it's from a body of work that I actually did as part of my MFA exhibition, and it's called The Psychic Body. Now what I'm going to do is let's see, play. Okay. The Psychic Body. If I'm going too fast, please tell me to kind of slow down, or if I'm going too slow, tell me to hurry up. Okay, so I'm going to read this out, but you can read along if you want. Eroticism, surrealism, and sensuality induce and incite my art. My visual language jubilates in these themes using mixed media, painting, drawing, photography, to speak about opposing energies within the human psyche. My work explores the use of glass and mirrors, mirrored paint, because there's actually mirrored paint and mirrored film, with the objective to draw and seduce the viewer into my work. Once captivated, the viewer becomes part of the journey into the other, with the eroticized body as a guide. Mirror and glass represent the present, real time, whereas the photography evokes the past, i.e. memories, past time. The drawing and painting connect both time elements and helps the viewer engage within the same frame. So where does the guide lead the viewer, and why the eroticized body? So an erotically charged body's physiology heightens the senses and opens the body up to experiences that would be otherwise inaccessible. The centralized body becomes a conduit between the conscious and subconscious world, a portal to an internal surreal landscape where form, thoughts, and gestures are yet to be fully developed, where specific genders are not yet distinguished, and the past lives with the unborn future. These artworks represent what the subconscious is to the conscious mind by exploring opposites and the curiosity of the human psyche. Emerging body. And I've done it like side and side because on one side you actually see it literally, but on the right hand side, which I think it might be your left, it's you actually see it as it's meant to be, like hung, so you'll see all the reflections. So that's what I've done. I've done both side by side. And stop, if you've got any questions, just ask me. I don't mind. That's another example detail. My favorite. I know you shouldn't say, like, I shouldn't be saying stuff about it is my favorite. Halo's my favorite. After Leon. And that, as they say, that's it. There you go.
Have a Rorschach quality.
Pardon?
They have a Rorschach quality, you know,
Yeah.
Rorschach, which I like because it makes it even more enigmatic, and you can put parts of yourself into how you want to see it interpreted.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, good.
It's
Yeah,
very
it was
mysterious.
Yeah, I was really excited about. I'm gonna keep, while you're asking questions or thoughts, I'll just kind of keep it up until somebody, well, Cristina says my time's up.
You're doing great on time. So yeah, let's keep going.
Okay. Let me just put it back on to.
Colette, I have a question. It's Linda. Why the artist statement first rather than the images first?
That's a good question. You know what? It's purely, I guess, logistical. I didn't really kind of put it. I think I think it was because when I was doing the review, and every time I did a presentation at school, I always put like an art statement first, and I think that's
too much you've been too much training, I think.
Should I get rid of it?
No, not completely. But I think the work is the entry point. And this work is so sensuous and curious and complex, and I would, you know, I'm sure they're very different in person than on the screen, but I think it's a good artist statement, by the way, but for me it was too much guidance and too many words and concepts get in the way of really seeing the work or seeing how the two images work together as pairs. That was another thing. Anyway, that's my comment.
Cool. No, that's that's good. That's a good point, because when I go out, like now I'm out in the big world, so to speak, I don't necessarily need an art statement anymore. So actually, you did, by saying that, you've actually. I mean, obviously, if somebody starts talking, and wants to know about things, of course. But you're right, I don't need that anymore, and I take that, definitely take that on board.
Hey, Colette, this is Anna. I have a question.
Yes, Anna?
So in the previous one, I think you just moved forward.
Oops, let me do it again.
Yeah, in the previous one.
That one.
Yeah, no, not that one. It's actually maybe the first one. Yeah, that one. This, no, yeah, even this. So I see the figure in the middle of this Japanese artist who does paintings with the eyes, you know, sort of wide and kind of a doll-like face. Is that real? Is that what I'm seeing, or am I just seeing that? Because I've seen that before, and this is completely different.
Well, there is elements of it, but I think it's more kind of like subconsciously that it's there, because one of my, I mean, you know, and a few people know that my work's all based in surrealism. And one of the really important photographers and sculptors was Hans Bellman, and in particular Hans Bellman dolls, the dolls. So and it was a big influence, even in the way I draw. So I didn't specifically do it like that, but it's actually, looking at it now, I'm seeing like it's kind of interesting how that's coming out.
Yeah, yeah. It's very interesting. Especially if it was not intentional, I think that makes it even more interesting.
Yes, it's, you know, it's kind of like yeah, I think it all just came out really, and plus the mediums that I use, the like photography, drawing, and painting it in the mirror, and I think they also reflect a lot of that internal and external thing, which is a very much a surreal thing. And even Hans Bellman's dolls, you know, they're like very kind of internal. They're kind of, they have that kind of, that whole thing of like moving back, you know, in and out. It's not well, that's how I see it anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Excuse me, Belmer or Bellman? Hans Belmer?
Hans Bellman.
I know he had a lot of dolls, but is that who you mean?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, Hans Bellman's doll. Yeah. But also he did a lot of drawings from those images, and some of them are really quite exquisite. They're really very, very beautiful, and because they kind of like, when you see the photographs of the of his work, you know, it can look quite grotesque, you know, but his drawings have this ethereal, very beautiful aspect to them, which is, to me, is, it's almost like sublime.
Well, I like the mystery of your work, and I think I agree that if you do too much of a artist statement before, then people are going to look for certain things and it'll kind of shrink down what you're doing. And I like it that it is more mysterious, and we want to leave it open to get more out of it than if you go, well, I didn't see that, and I didn't pay attention to that from her artist statement. You know, yeah. I like all the mystery going on. I really do.
Thank you. No, you've it's the, you know, Linda made a good point, and you did. So as I said, it's kind of from just being at college. So I need to take it out now, because if I'm going to galleries, they're like, just show me the work. Just show me the work, you know, we'll figure the art statement out. afterwards if we show you work, you know. So I value that from both of you. Thank you.
Maybe the artist statement is done in school to defend your work, because I know I went to grad school at NYU, not the Art Institute, and it was all about defending your work. And so we had to come up with like really cool art statements to defend what we're doing, and which I didn't like that position.
You know what though, I actually don't. I mean, I can understand where people think, you know, the defending. You know, I understand that, but you know, sometimes with an art statement, it actually helps you articulate your work, your own work, and you can see it because, you know, as artists, we're visual. We're visual. That's what we do. We kind of everything's like on the surface. So sometimes when you actually when people start asking questions about your work and stuff like that, sometimes it's difficult to move from the visual to the written word. So in a way, the art statement helps you. It might not help Joe Public or the gallery or whatever, but it actually helps you if you're in a situation where, say, you're doing a talk, like what I'm doing now. I mean, and you're in a gallery, and it just helps you articulate. So I think I see both points. I see that, like, the you know, the defense mechanism, but also it's just good. It helps you. It helps you understand it when you read it back as well, and helps you understand your work.
Colette, do you want to share with us about the material? I'm noticing that golden tone, at least that's what I'm registering on my end. You want to share with us a little bit about the process? Yeah, please.
Okay, so basically, so we've got two images here. This is the one that's on, like, when you literally take the photograph, the image, and it's on the website or whatever. But on the right hand side, you see it more clearly. So the gold here, all this gold, excuse me, is actually mirrored film. Okay. And then this is photography on like transparent. Well, this is actually on glass. Yeah, that is actually on glass. So that what I do is put the both images together, and then sometimes it's just enough, and I don't need to go in like draw into it because it balances enough. But sometimes it's actually good just to kind of bring certain elements like out. So it's like, for example, like with the eyes or the breasts, and then you've got like the opening of the vagina. It takes you in there and brings you out here. So that's but then on like on this one, apart from a little bit around the face, this is all kind of most of it is there's not that much kind of like painting in. There's like drawing, but not really that much. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thanks for sharing, Colette. Thank you.
Collette, I have another question. So would you consider the left one is the finished work and the right one is kind of like how you get there?
Well, they're both finished. Okay, so this is kind of interesting. So this is a very interesting thing because when I was doing this at college, and remember this last couple of semesters, it's all been on Zoom. So when you're dealing with mirrors, it's hard to do it on Zoom, okay? Because it's a flat surface and you're not going to get the reflection. If you're in the studio, then that's a different matter because you're looking at the work in relation to everything else and seeing your reflection. So this one here, because it's a bit flat because of the like the zoom thing, and taking the images. So what I did was like, well, I need to get this into a place where people can see it, as in like the mirror aspect. So we had this exhibition. I put on this exhibition at the beginning of the year at Art Gallery with 3 other MFA students. And in a way, it was also, I did it because I was like, I've got to document it. I have to document it in the sense of the mirror, and so you can see it. So this one, you see where I'm going around it. So you can actually see here and here. This is the mirror. In fact, you can actually vaguely see me actually taking a photograph of it. But that's what was kind of, whoops, sorry. That's what was important to see that. And let's show you again here. You see, and it was really important, the idea that the mirror and the light, so that it changes all the time. And again, when it's like this, you don't always see it. But when it's actually, I mean, it looks better in a video, I must admit. It does look, but I didn't want to bring the video in. Well, I could have done, but you can see the light changes all the time.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Colette. Thanks for sharing.
You're welcome. Is my time up?
You're doing great, Colette. What are you talking about? Any more questions? Any more comments? Any more thoughts for Colette, who's on the spot right now?
There is a comment I thought was really interesting from Mark. I thought of Enkiddu from Gilgamesh. I thought that was a really cool comment.
I kind of feel the same way. Like my first impression of all your works is kind of like from Gilgamesh, like that period of time. And it's more like really hard to imagine the period of time, but you give me a vision, like your understanding about like mysterious time. That's really cool.
Thank you. I'll do a quick shoot through. Yeah, I'm still working on it actually. I'm actually in the process of taking some of these, like, well, not the images, and I'm on a large scale. I want to kind of expand it, because initially the whole idea was to take these ideas and have them on a massive, like a 12 kind of, like almost like a 12-foot like frieze, if you like. But due to circumstances I couldn't do that, so I'm actually in the process of doing it at home, and just extending it a little bit more, and we'll see how it goes, because also these were also maquettes. They started out as maquettes because again, circumstances, because these were meant to be about like 6 foot.
Yeah, that'd be fabulous.
Yeah, these were all meant to be, and in fact, this one, like Halo, I actually managed to blow this one up, and this one, Emerging Body, I actually managed to blow those two up, and they're really big. They're kind of, they're about 6 foot. So, but
Great.
what I want, so what I want to do is a whole like frieze, like fresco type mural, and have like almost this movement, this dancing around, and that's what I'm working on now. But it's like I do it small, so the procedure is, so I'll do it small, and just like these, they're kind of like maquettes. Then what I do is I'll blow it up really large, and what happens is, you see the gold on here, it becomes, it's really interesting because then I go over it again, because I blow the images up and then I go over it again with mirror, and I'll draw into it more, or I'll kind of like paint into it more. And so it becomes, well, other than bigger, I guess, there's more flow to it. So as I said, these all started out as maquettes for the bigger. Yeah, I'm kind of rambling away a little bit now.
Yeah, great. Bravo.
Such great presentation. Thank you so much, Colette. This was beautiful. Really beautiful work and really beautiful presentation.
Thanks, Anne. Okay, I'll stop sharing now.
Thank you. Very interesting.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, good job. Great job.
Thank you.
Excellent. So before I go on to my presentation, we're going to do something silly, something random. I call it like random thought of the moment. And this is what we were thinking about. Colette and I decided that we want to know what kind of music you were listening to when you were at SFAI. And if you don't mind, share it in the chat. Put the kind of music you were listening when you were a student at SFAI. Let's see what comes up, and let's see if we know who these people are. I'm gonna, you're gonna think I'm a teenager. There's mine.
There's your...
Yeah.
It changed a lot. It changed a lot.
Well, choose your favorite if you were doing like every possible genre.
Well,
see, Tim has a whole list.
well,
I just put one.
I actually just one. I was gonna type in about 3 or 4.
Oh, I like Anna's Yo-Yo Ma. That's beautiful. And Bollywood,
Yeah, and some pretty random Bollywood sort of opposites, you know, schizophrenic or something.
Yeah, I needed that. I needed the dance and high energy music to like really keep me upbeat and going, because I was on the maximum level of caffeine, especially in the last year. So yeah.
Oh.
I can hear somebody still typing.
That would be a great mixtape. We are gonna have to make a mixtape with all those songs.
Yes, Maria. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. We didn't think we were gonna make a project out of this. We just thought, you know, because I'm kind of that kind of kid that is random thought of the moment. You have no idea. I have a list of random thoughts going in my head all the time. But anyways, thanks for participating and continuing to plug in there your music, your favorite music when you were at SFAI as a student, or maybe like Linda as a professor, or anybody else, is anybody in here who was staff at the moment, or doesn't matter. When you were at SFAI, whatever you were doing, visiting or whatever, what was your favorite music? What kept you moving besides coffee? And whatever else.
Come on, folks, tell it like it is.
Yeah.
My chat doesn't work.
Oh, your chat doesn't work? You can just tell us.
Yeah, well, the Rolling Stones. Everything was the Rolling Stones.
Nice.
What decade?
Well, actually, okay, quickly, I took my first art class in 1964 when I graduated from high school, but I didn't come back and be a student till 71. I worked on Broadway to be able to pay my tuition. And then in early 74, I went to Mexico and transferred my grades back up to the Art Institute because I got tired of working in all those bottomless clubs. And then graduated in 75.
Oh,
I'm one of the dinosaurs of the group. And then I didn't get my grad degree until I went to NYU and graduated in 99.
so every decade then.
Yeah,
Rolling
really.
Stones was every decade.
Maybe
But-
we've got every decade here.
I gotta tell you, the Art Institute really does get under your skin, because when I took that first class in 64, my boyfriend took me out for a pizza and I didn't want to wash my hands because I love to smell the oil paint in my fingers. And I really didn't want to get married. I just wanted to be a painter. And my family coming over from Sicily couldn't understand that, you know? It's like, no, you get married and you have a family and grow up. And when I want to grow up, I want to be an artist. And here I am. I'm still in the game and I make my living, sometimes not very good, but I do. If you believe in this, it's who you are. It's not a job. And
I learned that the hard way. I tried all kinds of other jobs and careers, and I'm back with art. And I wish I never left. It was
It's
a
who you
big
are.
mistake.
It's really who you are. It is not about, you know,
I mean, I started drawing. I was drawing when I was 5 years old, you know. So
yeah, I mean, it's who we are. And the Art Institute has always been there. And even though when I had my BFA, we didn't have a BFA exhibition. It was just like, hey, good luck out there.
well, when I majored in printmaking, and that was it.
Oh, did you have Richard Freed or Dick
Graff.
Freed? Or
Richard Graff was,
Richard
yeah,
Graff, right, that's right.
he was really wonderful. Yeah.
That's a great
These
school.
are such great stories, John and Kathy. You know what? We're gonna do more of those stories. Actually, that's the next thing we're gonna do. We want to share stories. We want to share gossip happening at SFAI, which, you know, we know there's plenty of that to go through all the ages that, you know, SFAI had existed, and even in the brief moment that it didn't exist or try to not exist, we have plenty of things to share, right?
I can tell
Guess
you.
what my very first job was? Anybody want to guess what my very first job was? It was while I was at the Art Institute. That's a clue.
A go-go dancer.
Model?
A dancer.
I was a life model.
Ah,
Okay.
Yeah. That was the very first time I actually
Very cool.
made any money.
Nice.
that's very cool.
Isn't that
Okay,
interesting?
so we've got like
Models Guild. I joined the Models Guild.
Oh, yeah?
nice,
Yeah.
very nice.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it.
So Cristina, my friend, my buddy, my cohort, my whole step up.
Yes, yes. All right. I guess it's my turn now
It's your
to bring
turn,
in some images. So here we go. Thank you everybody for sharing. We'll go back to the gossip and the stories. We want to hear it all. We really do. So I'm going to show you a body of work that I started pre-pandemic, literally when I still had a studio, and this is a body of work that came out of this this last moment of solitude and in my studio space in San Francisco, in the Bayview area, in the grimy Bayview area, which is, you know, it's pretty real. Like the people that I invited to the studio were like, are people going to jump out of nowhere? What's going to happen here? Because it's pretty ugly over here. And I was like, no, it's okay. It's cool. You know, we're cool here. So I'll just start sharing with you a little bit about me. I don't think many know about my personal story coming to the U.S. A lot of people assume that I was born in the U.S. and that I'm a Chicana. A Chicana is somebody who is born out of Mexican parents, who's born in the U.S. out of Mexican parents. I am, in fact, a Mexican-born, Mexican-American by way of naturalization. And so these artwork that I created are called trophies. And these trophies are made out of cement and rebar, which have a strong connection to my father's upbringing and his job. His entire life since he was a teenager, he was a constructor, a construction worker, and he built houses. So I wanted to connect with my father via the rebar and the heavy pieces of cement at the bottom. And then I wanted also to turn flags. These are literal flags. This is not painted on fabric or anything like that. These are literal flags, which I know what it can do to certain people when a creature like me comes in and fragments the flags and turns them into sausages and plays with them this way. This is a different kind of piece, but it's in the same body of work. And so what I'm doing here is I'm pretending to make a trophy. Like this is a trophy to allude to Mexican trophy. And then there's a different one here. Again, the flag is intertwined and tangled up as soft sculpture on these very hard materials, construction materials to create houses, to create dwellings, to create sanctuaries where we live, where we feel safe, where we feel welcome, where we feel loved. And it's that kind of struggle that I live with in two nations, living in the U.S. as a little child and being born in Mexico. And I did part of my personal story is that I did cross the border as well, they still call it that. We don't like it. We don't like the way it sounds, but I'll use the right terminology, illegal alien. I'll give you another little story here in the middle of this presentation that when we were going through the phase of repapering ourselves from being immigrants to becoming permanent residents, when we went to the court in San Francisco, we went to court and when you're waiting in that space and the officer calls you, they say next alien or next illegal alien. And my sisters and I were like, what? You're an alien. I'm an alien. We started giggling. Of course, we got in trouble for that because it's a very, very sterile place to be in. And you know, everybody's nervous there. So, you know, your fate is being decided on you by a court and by officers of immigration. So that's the first time we heard the word illegal alien, and we thought it was hilarious. So, you know, for me, it's now a funny thing to hear, but of course, it's not something we want to call each other, especially as we grow. And so that's my story as a little kid coming to the U.S. As an undocumented child. Of course, you've seen a lot of images now on television with all the current events of children crossing the border alone. That was not my case, but those images do grab me. They do shake me in a different way because, you know, I crossed the border holding my mom's hand, and these children that are crossing the border are not. They're being pushed away from Mexico, from Guatemala, from other parts of Latin America because of what is happening there with organized crime. And again, my bodies of work that always deal with flags have that embedded in them. My dual nationality, my conflict with two different countries, and my love for both of them as well. This piece here is a trophy to peace, is actually a white piece of fabric. And I've added some milagros. These little charms are called milagros or miracles in Mexico. And traditionally, you pin them to the gowns of saints in Catholic churches. It still happens today. So if you're, when we're able to travel far and wide, and when you go to Mexico, you go into a church and you might encounter some of these milagros pinned onto those saints. And so I made this trophy to peace, wanting to break apart the conflicts that happen in different countries, the conflicts that happen internally in our lives, by asking, you know, to memorialize miracles. And that's what's happening there. Then I made this one also a trophy to life, because the piece of fabric is colorful and florid and a little bit more relaxed to a certain extent. It's not tangled up. I've also made some tubes with the flags. Again, I have yet to encounter somebody who picks a fight with me for tearing flags apart. And the reality is that I understand they are heavily packed with memories and significance to the allegiance that, you know, that they're related to the country that they belong to and what they hold, those values for certain people. You know, flags are very important for certain people. To me, as a visual artist, they're nothing but material. They become a piece of fabric, and that's what I do with them. And then I've also done a performance. This is still when I was still at SFAI. The last year we had an exhibition. I forget the name of the artist. Hopefully, maybe Linda remembers. At the McBean Gallery, we had a very well-known artist. His name is escaping my mind. And we were invited. Who was it, Linda?
No, I'm sorry. I can't remember either.
You gave it. I can remember. I should have looked it up. Sorry about that. But we did have an artist, and he had a whole installation of flags suspended from the ceiling, and us as a student body were invited to perform on in the middle of stage of the gallery. So I performed these flags. I sewn the two flags together, and then I proceeded to dance with it, to move the flags around my body. Again, that conflict of me being in between countries, in between languages, in between cultures, which nowadays seems less painful than when this started to happen for me in the late 90s as a little kid. And now I feel like I acculturated, I've acclimated myself to everything that is US, and I probably have detached myself from a lot of the things that are Mexican, because inevitably when I go to Mexico, I'm not seen as Mexican anymore. I'm seen as the outsider. I'm the outsider to my homeland, and I'm the outsider to this land where I now reside and now I claim allegiance to. And so that's the story behind my body of work that relates to flags, to two nations, to my coming to this country and that journey, and all the things that involve being a dual citizen and in the in-between world. Essentially, that's what we call it, being in between, and in this nebulous state in space that is very different, and it's not very defined to a certain extent. So we live there in that space. And I'm happy to take your comments at this moment, if you have comments, or if you have ideas that you want to share about images that have popped in your mind as you see the different artwork that has come up out of my experiences and feelings about my two nations and my own life coming to the US.
I think,
Joanne.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I really like what you've done. And I know as an American, walking over the border back into the United States, kind of like around 11 o'clock at night, how mean and horrible the border patrol was towards people coming back here to begin with, that are from here to begin with. And suspicious of my stuff and even my painting that I've been carrying around for 2.5 months. He wanted to confiscate from me, and that's something I did. Then he grabbed my bottle of rum pope because he probably wanted to drink it. And there was an old couple walking back into Mexico, and I grabbed it from him and gave it to them so they could go back into Mexico. And I found like it was very unpleasant, and it's supposed to be my country, no welcoming back. And so I have a lot of sympathy for what you would be going through as a Mexican national at the time, you know. And then I was married to a Mexican for a really long time too, and I couldn't believe how badly we were both treated here. So it's poignant to me. I really like what you're doing.
Thank you, John, and thank you for sharing your story. Yeah, it definitely, you know, it brings color to our existence when anytime we travel any border. I think a lot of us feel that that feeling of I'm entering another space and in another country and a whole nother culture and language. But in reality, we are people of the world. We shouldn't feel that way. That's what I think in the end. Thank you, John.
Yeah, I really like the contrast between the soft, the kind of padded flags, like it also reminds me almost of those long tubes that you used to swim on, like these, I don't know what they are called, but the kind of the shape of it, but the softness and then the contrast to the rebarb and they look like flower pots a little bit to me, but instead of a plant there grows, it's concrete and not earth, and it's not a plant, but it's concrete. But then they have like this soft, what would be a flower, kind of like what comes up for me. So that was really interesting. The other thing that I really connected to was this alien, because I'm also I'm originally Austrian, but I also naturalized now, but being an alien, and I've talked a lot to Eleni, our liaison from Greece, about how this climate crisis is gonna make refugees of so many people now that are not just the countries anymore that Mexico, or like where traditionally a lot of people trying to come into the United States, but now there are going to be people fleeing from rich countries, or from, because of fires. And so this whole idea of boundaries, I think, really needs to shift, because there are going to be way more changes coming than we had so far, I believe. But thank you so much for sharing, Cristina. That was really
Thank you.
great.
Thank you, Maria. That was really beautiful. I do like the idea of the flower pots. I think that's something that I want to continue to investigate, because I've had it in other bodies of work, and the idea of the soaps, the very soft tubes and those inflatable things that I think they're like inner tubes for tires or things like that. I also forget the correct name, but this is the next body of work. This is a suspended piece, but I'm going to connect them, and then instead of dancing with the flags or having the flags pass through my body and create movements, I'm going to use the tubes. That's the next piece coming up. I have yet to perform it and document it. But thank you so much, Maria. I really appreciate it. And yes, we're both of that. I think Colette was saying the same thing, that like when you come to the US or when you move to a different country, like Joan was also sharing her experience. We are considered aliens, like extra. We feel like the visual that evokes in us is like, I'm not an extraterrestrial. We don't even know if those things exist. So don't call me that. Just call me an immigrant. Just call me like a foreigner. Like I might not be from here. Why do you have to call me that? It makes no sense. But that's court language for you. Kathy, did you want to? Oh, sorry. Yeah, Mark.
Yeah, can I ask something to this whole conversation?
Yes, yes, of course.
I was in a coffee shop back in England. Now, with my face, you think that I blend in, but I don't. Look on your face says it all. I was cornered for about 15, 20 minutes by some Englishmen wanting to know where I was from and what county I was from, and they were harassing me because I'm Irish.
Wow.
Now, during this whole conversation, they were racist against the Irish.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah. You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, they just finally got to the point of saying, well, what county are you from? What county were you born in? I finally looked at him and says, I was born in County Santa Clara. I was schooled in County San Francisco, and I live in County Los Angeles. And they all just kind of looked at me, with the jaws all kind of hitting the floor, and they couldn't believe that I was, American. But these were all a bunch of racist, prejudicial men who thought I was just another dumb Irishman. So just because I got the wrong skin color, doesn't mean it's going to
That's
hit.
very. You
Yeah,
know what, Mark,
that's
you're
true.
spot on there, mate, because my family is half Irish and half English, and we've had it. I'm from the north of England, and yeah, I know also from a personal experience, and I'm actually half English, and there is kind of that whole kind of, which actually makes it half English, half Irish, and also French and
Yeah.
American now. So yeah, I get it, and
Yeah.
even like yeah, it's yeah.
And it was a surprise to me, and it just left a very strong, imprint on me. So I know where this is all coming from now. And I just,
Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Mark and Colette. Yeah, definitely. I think that at some point we could have like a session where we share our experiences, because I think it will be healing. I still remember the first time I was discriminated, and I didn't understand the language yet, but I understood what was happening and what I was being told, and it hurt as a kid. It hurt deep inside me, and I have never forgotten it. And I responded with ignorance, because that's ignorance, and I responded with ignorance, and it never left me until I became a little bit more educated, and I understood what it was that we were dealing with and how we were navigating this new world. And I learned about cultures and languages and people from different parts of the world, and I realized, you know what, we can't fight ignorance with ignorance. When you tell somebody to go back to their country, you can't say the same thing to them. You have to be able to engage in a conversation or walk away. If you don't feel safe, just walk away from that interaction.
there's no arguing with that kind of, you can't.
Yes, Mark, that's correct. That's correct.
Do you think it can ever go away? I mean, it's a one up, one down mentality, always have to be, somebody's got to be on top and somebody's got to be beneath, it's, I took a bus across the country one summer when I graduated, and my God, I was shocked at the differences from the south to the north to down in Florida up to Maine. Oh my God. I thought, this is the United States. Which way do they mean it? Horrible.
Yeah. Can I just ask you a quick question about the, your video? Do you actually have the video? Do you actually have that video?
I have fragments of it, not with me right now. I don't remember if I have it on my website though. I have to double, because I need to go back and revamp my whole website. But what's currently in there, there's some videos in there of some performances. I don't remember. That might be there. That might be there. I have to go back and look. Thanks for asking, Colette. Kathy, did you have a comment earlier? Maybe I lost track.
I feel like I've talked a lot already, but
no. Go ahead.
I can relate to the whole immigrant experience because I lived and traveled in Europe and Turkey and Israel for a few years after I finished graduate school back east. And the place where they treated me the worst was in England. And it was because I was an American, and it was a live-in situation. It was absolutely horrible. I was treated really badly, and the other people that I worked with, they were from South America. I don't remember what countries, but the same for them. And they said they'd never seen anything like it. They spoke really good English, and they were from upper class ambassador type families, and they got, both me and them, we all got treated like garbage. Then I lived on a kibbutz in Israel, and it was the opposite. It was a wonderful experience, and I loved Israel, and they treated you so well. And there was none of this up, down, garbage there. And
a complete reverse.
I had two very different experiences in those two countries.
I'm sorry to hear that. That's really horrible.
Yeah. So there you go.
We're not all that bad, but
I was amazed
I get it.
How old-fashioned they could be. you know, in the modern times. It was really a shock.
It really is. It really is. And I mean, we're not immune to this kind of ignorance, really. And it just depends where you go. When I traveled to Chile, unfortunately, we did an intensive learning class for 2 weeks in Chile when I was at SFAI, and I was the most fluent because I'm fluent in Spanish, my first language. And the minute I landed in Chile, they said, "You're from Mexico. We like Mexicans here. You should stay here with us."
Good situation. It's like when I was in Israel. Oh, we love you.
Yeah. That was beautiful. That was really beautiful, because here in the U.S., my accent has been compromised, and in a good way, because I like my accent. I hear it more than most people would think, and my accent is a reflection of the people I hang around with. So if I hang around with people from Central America, I'm gonna sound like I'm from Central America in Spanish and in English, in both languages. And I won't be able to fool anybody that I'm Mexican. So it depends who I hang around with. That's kind of the color that comes through in my language. And Lucian seems to agree a lot. And speaking about accents, since we're finishing up on the presentation, thank you so much for all your comments and your questions. It was lovely. Speaking about other things, speaking about accents, thank you, and thank you, Colette. When I was in SFAI, one time at the tutoring center, we were a little bored, and by we I mean me, and I was like, "Guys, it's boring in here. We should start some gossip. Let's start a gossip. Send something around so we can like energize this place. This is boring." You know what? Sophie, he goes by Fabula Islam on social media. You know what he said? He said, "I'm gonna go to the Graduate Center on 3rd Street, and I'm gonna tell everybody that Cristina fakes her accent."
Okay.
And I just burst out laughing because I was like, "I don't fake my accent. This is what I have. And I do take care of it." So every time you ask for gossip, you're gonna be part of the gossip. You're gonna be the gossip. That's what's gonna happen. But anyways, all that to say, no, I don't fake my accent. Yes, I do. I can hear it sometimes. If I spend a month in Mexico, I won't be able to understand myself when I come back. And you won't understand me. I won't understand me. It's gonna be very coarse, like trying to change the way my mouth and my tongue has to behave for the English language. It's like foolish. But anyways, so what's your gossip when you were at SFAI? Because now you know mine. I was part of that gossip where people think I fake my accent, but I don't. It's real. This accent is real, for real. I'm telling you.
Okay.
So any more stories of SFAI? Any more things that you remember that happened that like are in your heart? Things that you hold dear in your heart, or things that you never forgot that happened?
I would like to add one thing.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
yeah, how about Marc and then Colette?
No, ladies first. Go ahead.
Thanks, Marc. I see English. Well, I'm half Irish, so I'm with you on that one. Actually, one of the nicest things that happened to me was somebody like Jeremy Morgan came into my studio and knew straight away, absolutely knew straight away what I was talking about, what I was doing, and I didn't have to complex things or anything. And I remember walking out of Fort Mason and just looking out over the sea, and I remember I just burst into tears, and it was such a relief. Because and I don't say that too much because I'm usually like da 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 da, and cocky little anarchist punky Colette, but I do remember that was like, oh my god, and I just burst into tears, and that I'll never forget that. Never forget. So that's my story.
Thank you, Colette. Thank you
as well.
Okay, I think it's Marc and then Anna.
Sure.
Yeah, let's do that.
The one thing that I've got to, really get out and share that my time at SFAI is probably the happiest time of my entire life. It really is. I wish I could go back and get back into it to go on to other happier, creative things. I can't get back into it. I can't. It's money. And the last time I raised this in this kind of meeting, I got all kinds of phone calls from people I don't know that never identify themselves. And, this is what you should do. And this is where all I would love to get back into it and be in that recreative, atmosphere again. Like drag me out of LA and get me back into San Francisco, please. And that's it means so much because LA's a drag. It kills death, if that makes sense. It kills the spirit. So it was the happiest part of my life. Thank you for lifting my spirits, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Mark. Thank you for sharing. How about Anna? I think Anna wanted to share next.
Yeah, I just wanted to share that, I came to the art world really late in my life and have been painting now for only about 5 years, which includes my SFAI journey. And what was remarkable about SFAI for me was that no one really questioned that. And I can expect that from the faculty and respect it, that they would, open it up to me and bring me along. But I think kudos goes to all the young students there, the 20, somethings who, my kids are that age, right? And they accepted me for who I was. Some of them had been painting way longer than I had and knew a lot more than I did. And now I have a ton of young, lifelong friends. I hear from them all the time. Yep, we've been doing calls and Zooms and walks and meetings and all kinds of stuff. So I have made a huge cohort of, yes, faculty and older, of course, Colette and, others who are my age range friends, but it's the young people who just accepted me for who I was and brought me along. So I treasure that.
Thank you, Anna, for sharing. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing to hear and to say. Thank you. Yeah. Who else wants to share?
Can I say one final thing too? What I liked about the Art Institute, it wasn't about technique. It was about shaking your head in new directions and opening yourself up to real vision and new perspectives. And it's just hard to explain, but like we used to have a cow head that would be on like a card table with blood thrown all over it, or Richard Miller would be up on the roof drinking jugs of white wine and trying to figure out the political statements, or hopping around on the floor down in the humanities department wearing a Richard Nixon mask on her face. And I thought, I can't believe that I leave this at 4 p.m. and change into my push-up bra and my leotards and go down and stand in the Condor and get drinks for people so I can afford to go back to that school in the morning. And it was great, and never had any real technique. None of the, when you graduate, here's how you get your resume together, here's how you do this and do that. No, it was like, it was just a, well, now you're out there, okay, good luck.
Yeah, you're on your own.
But you know, when I was at school, they would have a survey every couple of years, and they would want to know who's still making art and are you making a living at it, what you're doing. And I'd always say, not a great living, but I'm still doing it. And after a while, though, they quit. They quit sending that out. They went. So many people have quit that we're not even bothering anymore, and that was sad to me. You know. Because how do you quit? I mean, if you want to stay sane, make art.
You bet.
You know? And then
Oh yeah.
choose
Oh yeah.
different friends. You know, even if you have to dump your family because they think you're nuts, go find new friends and find new relatives.
A real job.
That's a beautiful slogan, Joan. That's a beautiful slogan. How do you stay alive? Make art.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
really true. No, I mean, I found that I was teaching a lot of inmates in Quentin and up on death row with you know, from art and juvenile delinquents. And I found that they would come alive and somehow their humanity started coming back into place when you would get them into making art, because it's taking the intangible made tangible. And that's where we are in the world. If you want to be sane, make art. Don't quit.
We need that on the t-shirt. If you want to be sane, make art. If you want to be sane, make art. Love it. Beautiful.
Linda had her hand up.
Yeah. Linda, you're muted.
Linda. No?
Yes. Okay, there I am. Just really quickly, one of the things that is the new Art Institute, we're not accepting freshmen and sophomores. We're accepting juniors and above. Transferring, I mean, not only that will make, you know, students, I mean, if they can go to junior college and get that one math class and that one language class out of the way, not pay so much money, they and they come to art school when they have to. When they know that that's the only place to go. I mean, you know, we've had freshmen who knew, but so many of them didn't. And so I think getting them a little bit further along in their life as a creative person is going to be really build a stronger community in the long run. Anyway, just thought I'd let you know that.
Interesting.
Yeah, you're right.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Linda.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
I got to go to art school as a freshman. It absolutely saved me. But, you know, many people have a lot more choices.
True. True.
Anna, did you want to say something?
I just wanted to add one more comment, which is that SFAI really made me into an artist. And I know you have it inside you and all those things, but SFAI really made me into an artist. And I am making a living through art. And I've only been doing it 5 years.
Wow.
So it is possible. Yeah.
I am too.
That's beautiful to hear. That's beautiful. That's great. All right. So on that beautiful note, I think Colette wants to share something really beautiful for her, but a little sad for us. Tell us, please. Tell us.
Well, unfortunately, I'm going to have to resign my post as Berkeley liaison because I'm actually embarking on a PhD in September, and I'm still kind of in a state of like, what? I'm doing this, but it's just I want to. I need to give some kind of I don't want to spread myself too thin, and I want to honor not just my PhD, but I want to honor you guys too. So I don't want to kind of like you know I want to honor you, and I don't want to kind of like do anything half-hearted. So, so I'm resigning for that. But that doesn't mean to say I'm not, you know, I'm going to still be around. So you haven't got rid of me. So if you think, oh, Colette's gone, no, she hasn't. She's still here.
Where
I
are you
just keep an
going?
eye on everything. So we, Cristina and I, were talking about if anybody would be interested in stepping up to being a liaison, Berkeley like liaison, or if you know people that are interested, or Cristina, I think you said even further afield. It doesn't. Does it necessarily have to be Berkeley, or do you want to continue with that? Because, but basically, I think we're looking for like people to step up.
Can we say congratulations first to Colette for the PhD?
Yes, congratulations. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Lots of good luck.
Yeah.
Lots of good
Yeah.
luck.
Yeah, that's very exciting.
I'm going to follow you.
Yes, you are. Yeah.
Where are you
You have us
going?
here for support. You have us here for support. Yeah, and do tell us where you're studying.
So it's, I think probably a few of you know of this. It's the Institute of Doctoral Studies for Visual Arts, and it's art as a philosophy. Basically, that's what it is, and I've always been interested in philosophy and obviously art, and I've always thought the two went together. So I'm going to go and study it. It's part-time, so I still, as I said, that's why I'm saying I'll still be around, you know. But yeah, that's what
What's the school? Which school?
it's called the Institute. The Institute of Doctoral Studies for Visual Arts, and it's actually based out of Maine. But it's a lot is done online, and this was pre-pandemic, so there's a lot of Zoom meetings and everything. But like once a semester, you get to go to different places in the world really, and do workshops and do conferences and present your work. It's like once, and so everybody gets together in a place. It could be Paris, it could be Italy, and you'll spend a certain time there, and you'll do your presentation and etc. So I was just attracted to that.
Fabulous. Great.
Fabulous.
Best wishes.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck, and you know you have us here to support you if you wanna.
Yeah.
If you wanna send Linda like a 10-page excerpt or something, I'm just kidding.
Oh, definitely. Oh, you know what? I'm going to count on you guys. Definitely. You have. Like I said, I'm not.
Well, she's gonna make a list.
I make a list, but I'm not like, I'm not leaving you guys. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'll never leave.
Thank you, Colette. We wish you well. And on that note, yes, think about it. If you want to become a liaison, if some of our other friends around the Greater Bay Area or even beyond didn't show up for many reasons. I know some of them were camping, shooting video, or doing photography at this moment in time, and they couldn't join us. That's why we recorded this session to share with all of them. Touch base with us and touch base with them and see if they want to be, if they want to join us at another meetup. We don't know when we'll be meeting in person. You know, it's tentative considering how things are happening still with the pandemic. I know some people think we're out of it. I like to remind us all that we're still pretty much in the middle of it, whether we are vaccinated or not and all of that. So stay safe, stay connected with us, reach out to other alumni and see if they want to either become part of the Zoom meetings, if they want us to do a little critique group. Next time, be thinking about if you want to present, like we did, like Colette and I, we purposely did it this way so we could get you thinking about you presenting. And so like sign up, talk to us, Maria or me or Lucian or Linda, if you want to present, and send us a message. And then also don't forget to fill out the survey. Fill out the survey. There's a survey floating out there. We wanna hear and get a sense of what you are thinking and feeling in terms of SFAI. And then what else? Is there one more thing? Just you know, just consider being a liaison, fill out the survey, stay in touch, consider doing a presentation. And it was really lovely to have you all of you here sharing space, sharing virtual space, and being present. Kathy.
Are you going to be maybe continuing some Zoom meetings? Because I'd like to be able to participate, even though I don't actually live in the Bay Area anymore.
Yes, absolutely. Jean is saying goodbye. Thank you, Jean. Yes, we want to continue. And actually, that was another question I think we wanted to ask you. When would you like to meet again? Would you like us to meet again in a month or maybe 2 months? And who wants to present so we can start taking notes on people who want to maybe do a little presentation of their most recent body of work, or if you want to do a little critique, we can also do that. We're pretty open to whatever format works for all of us with whatever needs we have as a community of artists. So you can, share with us now, or share on the chat, or, reach out to us independently at another time when other great ideas float about. Any questions?
Would be nice.
A month from now, John? Yeah, that's what I thought too.
It stays fresh that way. If it's too far and that. Brianna Hyneman used to have a critique group for a little while, and we had it down in one of the studios across from where some of the alumni thing used to be. And that was really good, because once you're out of school, it's good to have a little sounding board and other people giving you kind of some feedback on what you're doing. You're not working always in a vacuum.
Yeah.
So I find
that's correct.
I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah,
yes.
I was in that group. I remember you, Joan. I remember you. We had some really good sessions. We shared snacks and like light desserts and, and all of that. It was nice.
Well, I hope I wasn't obnoxious.
No. Absolutely not. No one was. We were all pretty good.
But that was so good, wasn't it? Wonderful.
Yeah.
It was so worthwhile. And then we didn't have to take out like a mortgage on our house to be able to be part of the group.
Yeah.
I didn't have to try to get my old leotard back on. Really pouring for the school,
Yeah. Oh my gosh, did you notice the chat? Lucian put the San Francisco, the SFAA Bay Area mixtape, volume 1.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm glad you started with Tiesto. Yay.
That's nice. My chat doesn't ever work. I don't know. I put in stuff and it never seems to come up. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's my computer. I don't know. Is there a trick?
Yeah. Oh, and Lucian put our websites there also on the chat. Colette's in my website if you want to check out some more work. Yeah, go in there before I revamp that thing. So thank you, everybody. Yeah.
What part of Mexico, if you don't mind me asking, were you anywhere near Tepic? Because I showed my work in a museum in Tepic. It was, it's gone now, that museum. It was called Automata, Arte Moderna.
Brianna. Oh, I was not. Thank you, Anna.
Thanks.
I was born in Port, one of the biggest ports on that part of it, on the Gulf part of, is it Gulf? No, it's Pacific. It's Michoacan.
Oh,
Michoacan.
yeah, I know that really well.
I'm on the coast. I'm on the coast side,
All the pine trees and the forest.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it down there.
I'm a kid of fried fish, coconut water, the beach all day, every day. That was my life growing up. Yeah.
I'd be at Playa Los Cocos just because of everything. And I don't know, I really miss it.
Yeah, I do too. And then it's not like, unfortunately, it's not like I can't just say, hey, let's all go to Mexico right now. Well, politically speaking and thinking about Mexico, I can't even go to my hometown because of all the cartel and organized crime.
It's horrible.
It's not pretty. It's not pretty. So I wouldn't be able to invite you and take you there.
No, that's weird.
Even though I wanted to do a residency for all of us there, I can't do that we can't enter the town, and if you enter the town, you can't get out of the town. So I can't put you in that kind of danger.
I was with somebody 3 hours ago and they were telling me the same thing. They can't go back and visit their family down in Mexico because of the cartels. And when I lived down there, there was none of that. And then last time I went there, it was in the 90s and it was starting. It was starting to get kind of scary then, but
yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, what's unfortunate, but you know, we'll find another way to go on a retreat or like a residency. Yeah, we have other alumni in other parts of the world. Elaine said something about Greece. If we know somebody else in Japan, because I've been wanting to go to Japan forever. That's gonna be my third language. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Sicily is getting popular now too with a lot of art stuff.
Yeah.
But my family's from there, but I don't know. Everybody still want to rip you off there too.
Yeah,
really,
I bet.
Not really. You know, I had a cousin trying to sell me back my uncle's house.
Oh no.
The price that I paid for mine in West Oakland. And I thought, what? Well, it's already in the family. I'm supposed to buy it back?
Weird.
Yeah, things like that happen. Things like that happen for sure. Unfortunately, that's awful. That's awful. Anyways, we're coming down to the last few minutes of our gathering. Notice in the chat, with the exception of Joan, whose chat doesn't work, there's the survey there. If you click on it, if you want to check out the survey, it's very brief, by the way. So unless you want to, you know, type up a whole book in there, Maria is going to read it for sure, because she's, you know, our SFAA president. She's going to read everything. And Lucian will too.
Survey?
Everything.
Can you fill it
and then
out
you have
in-
the list. Yeah, then you have the list of the mixtape volume 1. I love that. I can't get over it. Please save the chat, you guys. Those of you who can. I think it's Maria and Lior and maybe Lucian who can save the chat so we can look at it later on. Anyways, any last thoughts? Any last comments, questions, gossip, stories? Gossip not related to Cristina. I don't want to be in the gossip. I'm a good
Can I
girl.
ask you a question, Colette? Are you from York, England?
Am I from?
York? Are you from York?
Nah, Manchester.
Oh, Manchester. Okay. 'Cause I went to a seminar in York on medieval stained glass conservation. So up at King's Manor.
No, York's nice though. No,
Yeah.
but no, I'm from the industrial Manchester.
Right. Yeah.
Urbanite. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you, everybody. This was absolutely wonderful. Thank you all for taking your time to be here with us on a Saturday. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you for doing this.
Oh, stay safe, stay creative, and stay hydrated. Coconut water, people. Coconut water.
Hydrated, yeah.
Thank you, Cristina and Colette.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, all.
Yeah.
Thank you.